Happy spring, everyone! Welcome back. Today we're gonna do a little log pickup, maybe a big log pickup. So my friends Chad and Colton, they found a big log or tree that was being removed today, and Chad sent me some pictures of it standing there. It was huge. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Let's do it. And then after it got cut down, he's like, well, it's kind of hollow. Do you still want it? And kind of looking at it, it's kind of iffy. And it looks like half the tree is still good, and the other half is like a big hole. I've been inside a lot, so at this point, even if this isn't the best use of my time, I'm okay with that because I don't want to be inside. The snow is melting. It's a Friday afternoon. I'm gonna go have some fun. Yeah, it's got quite the, yeah, I could like live in there. Holy crap. I could literally go in there.
Right.
Oh, the kids are gonna love this one. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know what I would saw out of this really, because that hole kind of comes up this way into the good stuff. I mean, it's completely hollow. Even up in there. Oh yeah. There's nothing left. I mean, it's got some good stuff.
Like 20 years ago, it would have been cool.
Yeah.
When we first moved in 8 years ago, when I had my it might have been better.
That would have been the time. I don't know if he has to like pull it off or pick it up a little bit so I can get a chain underneath it. That's all I need.
I mean, I think we could just get it rolled in the road. I think, yeah, if we roll in the street, it should have enough room between it. That rip flare, for it starts to flare, and the asphalt should allow you to get chain right up.
Okay.
Heavier than we think it is, yeah.
It might be. I guess the sap's running already.
Right.
There we go.
No, it's still tight.
All right, I am back, and before I give you a closer look at the log, this is kind of a junk log, even by my standards, so that's saying quite a bit. But I think overall, for me at least, I had fun. It was the exact adventure that I needed to get out and do something. Having that skid steer there made it a little bit easier, so I didn't have to necessarily re-rig the winch to adjust the log side to side. As it was coming on, it came on kind of crooked. And then I was planning on just trimming it down to fit through the arch once we got to the widest section of it, but I've never been in a position where there's a grapple truck there that can just pop the arch off and give me the full capacity of the width of the trailer to get the rest of the log on. So overall, this was a fun experience. I had a blast. It was a great day. And let's just take a look at the log, I guess. You know, from the outside, it looks pretty good. But on this side, it looked like, you know, like maybe this section of the tree was still good and millable. And, you know, Chad had sent me all those pictures. And then he gave me a call and was talking to me. And I was asking him about that exact scenario where it's like, is half the log still good? And he said, oh, yeah, there's plenty of stuff left on that half the log. There's nothing here. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with this, but there's like nothing left of this tree. It's hollow every which way you look at it. So there really isn't a whole lot going on in there. So I think if I had known or been told the actual real condition of this log, I wouldn't have bothered going to get it. But since I was already there and I was looking for something fun, I might as well just take it and we'll figure out what we can do with it whenever we get to that. Whenever I figure this thing out. And I don't think it's going to be... It would be cool to saw it for the people that really like epoxy stuff. If I could get some of this really cool, like bug damage, rot inclusion stuff to stay with the slabs, and you can see that with the full fill in the middle of the, like a tabletop or something, I think that'd be cool. Getting those to stay intact while sawing and while drying and not breaking off or falling around would be a challenge. So that's something I could do. I don't really mind challenges too much, but like I could literally crawl through this log. So, I mean, the only scenario for this is I just put out in the yard. The kids can use it as a tunnel fort or something like that. So regardless, still I don't know, there's still something that could be done with this thing. So now the craziest part, or like the part that surprises me the most with this thing, is that as I was looking at it on the ground, I'm like, oh, it'll be a pretty easy load. It's mostly hollow, so it should be pretty light. It should just go on the trailer pretty easily. It should just be a good, you know, demonstration of what loading a giant log with the system would be like. But this thing is way heavier than it should be. When I first hooked it up and started pulling on it, it didn't really even budge. The whole trailer and truck were kind of coming towards it, so I knew that it was way heavier than I thought it would have been, being completely hollow like this. So we're gonna get this thing unloaded. We're gonna get on the scale. And I want to see how much this thing actually weighs, because it seems so weird and like impossible to me that it weighs as much as it does. So today we're kind of getting into spring. The snow is melting, and it's just a big mud pit up towards, kind of going up there anyway. So I don't really feel like taking a telehandler out today. So at least for today, I'm just going to drop the trailer in the driveway here. And then in a couple days, we'll get the telehandler out, get this thing off the trailer and set on the scale. And we'll see what we were dealing with. Okay, as I was moving this, I thought of one question or one comment that came up when I was building this trailer. And that's why the axles are so far back. You can see how far back to the rear they are. As for situations like this, most of the bigger goofy logs I pick up, the majority of the weight is way back here. So it is fairly difficult to get adequate tongue weight with axles in a normal placement. On my old trailer, the axles were at 55%. So they would have been like, the center line would have been like right there. And a lot of the times I could not get enough tongue weight onto the truck when I had a log fully loaded to the front of the trailer. So in this case, even though it looks like there is that much weight in front of the axles, there's actually not that much because most of the weight is actually up there. So my hitch has one of these scales in it, and you can see right now it's not even reading much of any tongue weight. I think because I'm on this hill right now, but as I was getting ready to leave, I had them push it forward until I got to 500 pounds, which 500 pounds on here is actually less than what the tongue weight of this trailer is when it's empty. When it's empty, the tongue weight is 700 pounds, and with this thing fully loaded, it's got less tongue weight than when it's empty. So, anyway, that's just the weirdness about this. But when you start like looking at trailer stuff and load distributions, it's all based off of uniform loading. And with log pickups like I do with these weird gnarly urban logs, their weight distribution is nowhere near uniform, and a lot of those like common rules of thumb, they don't really work for this application. Okay, here's a lesson I learned the hard way several years ago. The last thing you disconnect between the truck and the trailer is the safety chains. So just like at my old house here, we got an incline in the driveway, and if the trailer decides to roll down the hill, if there's nothing connecting it to the truck, it just goes. I did that once. I had my camera like set up down the driveway, or it was just like sitting there, it was off. Trailer went right into it. That's the old primary camera. It has taken many beatings over the years, and that was one of them. Okay, it's been a few days. The snow has pretty much all melted. A lot of the standing water has drained away, and we had an overnight freeze, so the ground is, the mud is kind of frozen and hard, which is nice. It makes an absolute mess of the machines, and then it just tracks it all into the barn, so try to keep as much mud off the tires as possible. But let's get this thing unloaded and get a weight on it. A little bit more. Okay. And this here. Might have to adjust the chains, but let's just give it a little tug and see where we end up here. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I love this thing. It's so handy for unloading weird stuff like this. Oh, I realize that camera's in a bad spot. Don't boink the camera. Oh, just missed it. Just missed it. Oh my God, into the pit. You can see where the driveway section stops. Let's see if we can ease it in here. I gotta put my blocks down still anyway. Oh, crap. Hit the freaking building. This is longer than I thought it was. as I do for data. Okay. Probably should have done this in the driveway. Is that the building? Yep. That would be the building. My carriage is in the way. I don't know why I decided to do this here. Okay, let's go check the scale. Grab the camera so you get my genuine reaction. That's it? There's nothing. The scale's not happy. Oh my gosh. It's a little tweaked. Yeah, it felt so much heavier than 6. Oh yeah. Not even 3 tons. Metric tons. 2 and change normal tons. 3 metric tons, not even. I think it's down off the chains. I just unhooked that one. Well, I thought it was way heavier than that, but I think it's just the weight distribution is so goofy on this thing. Yeah, look, it's all right here. That's where all the weight is. There's like nothing down here. Well, now we know. Let me get this thing out of here. For a hollow log, though, it still weighs more than I would have thought. There's still 6,000 pounds of material there somehow. Put it over here for now. I don't really feel like driving into the pile. What a fun day and a fun adventure. You know, one of the things I fell in love with picking up urban logs like this was this idea of this challenge and overcoming things and coming up with creative solutions. So it's nice when things go smoothly and effortlessly and without any sort of hiccup, but having to problem solve on the fly is part of the most enjoyable, or it is the most enjoyable part of salvaging these things. Now, as far as this thing goes, I think the current idea that I have for this is to turn this into basically a treehouse platform fort thing for the kids. So kind of hollow out sort of the junk in the middle to create a ladder platform up through here and put a deck or some kind of structure sitting on top of this thing, so it kind of looks like it's just a treehouse but sitting on top of a stump, sort of. So this will give us a good base for that. I can cut a little doorway in the bottom, and the doorway could become some stuff to put in the sawmill, or it could be some kind of hinge door or something. But I think I guess the general idea with this one is that there are other purposes besides just ending up on the sawmill for these logs. They can become other creative purposes or creative uses, and it's better than them just kind of going to waste. So even though this might not become a piece of furniture, it could become a really fun, cool, and memorable experience for my kids, And if it stays around long enough, it could be a something for the grandkids to play in someday as well. So it all has a purpose. You just have to find the purpose for it. So that is going to do it for this one. Thank you, as always, for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on urban logging, picking up big logs, or whatever, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer. Oh, can't fit through there. Be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking. This is a little too narrow for my shoulders. I'm not a spelunker. Oh boy. It's a piece of asphalt.